Welcome again, everyone, to another edition of First Person presented by the Buckeye Insurance Group in Piqua and the Coverman Dickerson Agency, representing the products of Buckeye Insurance in Piqua, Covington, Troy, and St. Paris. And speaking of St. Paris, we emanate this week not too far, being at Miami East High School with the head coach of the Vikings, Allan Mack, off to another great start this year. First of all, it's a busy time, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Sure, glad to be a part of the show.
It's always fun to talk basketball with you, and again, you're here. You know, it's almost a year to the date when you and I did this show last year. You're 12-2 right now. You've captured the imagination of this community. They love you. They pack your new gym here. It's been a pretty good start for you in a special time of the year.
It has been. It's been a great start. We're led by 3 seniors with lots of experience, and but you know, we've filled the other spots really well. Also, a couple new players stepping in at the post this year to start, and they've done very well also. So the team's really come together here through these first 14 games. So it's been a great start.
I think we've seen you 4 times. I think you've won 3 out of the 4 games we've seen. The only loss coming to Troy, and you played pretty well in that game. The thing that seems to characterize this club is you may not be as big, you may not be overall as talented as some other years, but your kids play the same. Your kids play like the more talented teams you've had in the past. They share the ball. They defend for 32 minutes. The little fine details, they really work hard to execute for you.
Yeah, I agree. We're not quite as big as maybe some of our teams of the past, but we really have handled the ball very well. About 10 turnovers per game, which is ideal. If you can be 10 or under, and you know, we have been very athletic. Defensively, we're about 44 a game that we're giving up, and that's outstanding, especially for the kind of competition we've played. And you know, I feel like that there's some real intangibles that you mentioned there: ability to share the basketball, be great teammates, and just the overall hustle that have really helped us account for some key wins so far.
You know, Allan, you're a very modest guy, and I've known you for a long time. You don't take a lot of credit for the success that you've had here in 20 years, almost 20 years. But, you know, your colleagues that you coach against always point to this fact that you are maybe as good as there is at taking the kids that you have and getting their best attributes to be successful for you. You take what you have and you make the most of it.
Well, I appreciate that compliment. But obviously the kids have to be open to that. They have to be hardworking, and they have to be talented. And we've had the advantage of having that type of kids. So I think it goes both ways there. You
know, you've also been fortunate in that I know you got a good feeder program. You got a lot of good volunteer people underneath you working
Absolutely.
with those young kids, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders. By the time they get to you, they've got the requisite skills to be successful.
They do, and we've been fortunate to keep our staff 7 through varsity together for already several years. This current group, so that's also a key factor. But as you said, it starts early at East with kids getting their hands on the ball at a very young age, and looking up to players like we have on the varsity right now.
And you always got a hard-working kid like Gunnar Shirk and Josh Snyder.
Yeah, those kids, they'll get after it and get on the floor and make the hustle plays, and that's important.
Allan Mack, our guest this week on First Person. We're going to take this break and come back and talk about area basketball in general for 2012, right after these messages from the Coverman Dickerson Agency in Troy, Piqua, Covington, and St. Paris. Stay tuned.
The Coverman Dickerson Agency, with offices in Troy, Piqua, and Covington, is pleased to be the sponsoring Buckeye Insurance Group agent for this First Person interview. For farm, auto, and homeowner insurance, Coverman Dickerson is one of the area's fastest growing Buckeye providers, with a history of service and competitive rates. And we're also an outstanding source of coverage for families with young drivers. For farm, auto, and home policies, call the Coverman Dickerson Agency, proud to represent Buckeye Insurance Group.
Again, we welcome you to this week's edition of First Person with Allan Mack, the head basketball coach, the boys coach at Miami East High School. I want to talk a little bit about the fact of area basketball, and I'm going to share a number with you. Through 10 games this year compared to our broadcast book from last year, shooting percentages of the games that we do in the area are down 3, almost 4% over last year. Everybody we talk to in your coaching among your colleagues point to one reason or another why kids maybe don't shoot the basketball as well as they used to. My friend Wayne Wiseman over at Springfield South, who is just a delight to talk to about basketball, points to the fact that overlapping seasons, football, basketball, baseball, kids trying to share and do all those sports, plus the fact in the summer, when traditionally kids would put up 10,000 shots like Tom Dunn used to, and work on things like that. Now they're trying to do 3 sports. They're lifting for football, they're playing AAU basketball, and still trying to play baseball. He said there's just not time to become the consummate basketball player or the specialist that there used to be. Your comments on that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that to a certain extent. You know, whereas in the past a baseball season might have been 20 games in the summer, now we're talking 50 for a lot of the kids. And while we're talking out of season basketball that might have included a few games in the spring, a lot of open court, open gym type things. Now it's almost a whole season there,
right.
And while it's created a lot more competition, a lot more game type events, there's probably has been a little bit less focused on just purely the skills of shooting and so forth. But yeah, I would agree to a certain extent with that, although I would say it's countered by the improved athleticism and the improved overall talent of players, even if the actual skill of shooting that we might think of has decreased a little bit.
We've got 8 games left to go between now and the end of the season. A very important period of games for you, because this is the time when you hone up and get ready for the tournament. I know you don't look ahead, but again, when you have to play some of the teams like lay ahead of you in the cross-county conference, it's not an easy thing.
Oh no, there's definitely not a situation where we can be looking down the line. We've got a number of teams ahead of us. The Frank Monroe game was as good as it gets here last year, and we've got to in turn go to Frank Monroe here a week from tomorrow. Also face up an Arcanum team that knocked off Frank Monroe, and of course Twin Valley South, our last conference game of the season. So we certainly can't take anyone lightly through that stretch, and we're going to have to play our best basketball to hopefully finish out and come out on top in the conference.
Allan Mack, again, our guest this week on First Person. Let me say it's always special to come here. You get this beautiful new building, beautiful new gym. I know that's been fun for you this year, but your environment here, the people, they pack this place. They love Viking basketball, and it's fun to come here.
Yeah, it is. And the new gym, while it's a little bit bigger, there's definitely more space on the court. It still seems to have a full crowd type feel most nights, and we're really pleased with that and the way things have shaped up here with the new gym and the continued support from the community.
One of the best in the high school basketball coaches in the state of Ohio. Allan Mack, appreciate your time. It's always fun to talk with you.
Thanks, Sonny.
All right, back again next week with another edition of First Person, with a reminder it's presented by the Buckeye Insurance Group in Piqua and the Coverman Dickerson Agency in Piqua, Troy, Covington, and St. Paris. Until next time, thanks for watching us. Thanks for your support at PressProsMagazine.com. See you then on another edition of First Person.
If you are looking for quality insurance protection from a reliable company, sold by professionals in communities like yours, that's what you'll get from Buckeye Insurance Group.
Buckeye Insurance Group, insuring the heartland.
To find your local Buckeye agent, visit buckeye-ins.com. Buckeye Insurance Group, insuring the heartland.
Insuring the heartland.